Good morning, StarCraft fans, and welcome to the Olimoleague. It's the April finals. We've got a round of 8 to get through of invited players who have earned their spots by placing throughout the month, but to no surprise, every single caster has dogpiled into one lobby.
We have one caster who decided to go to somewhere else, but 99% of casters are in this lobby.
Who's not in this lobby?
Sin.
Well, Sin, you've made a mistake.
No.
But as always, Zombie Up joining me today, guys. We are on a no delay, so hopefully I can make up for the fact that we've done a week now of virtually 0 shoutouts. And boy, is it tough to go look at the best content I think we've produced to see the least amount of like subs and donations. But hopefully today we can make that up to you all. A couple things to talk about before we get started is, of course, with no delay, we can adjust audio a lot better. I know there were some hiccups yesterday, and I still actually feel quite guilty about that. It's really difficult balancing like 5 different microphones. But I'm not here to make excuses. I'm just simply here to say that if you hear anything wrong, game sounds are too loud, Zombie Grub's too quiet, or she's too loud, just let me know so I can try and fix this as we go today. I want to put on the best show for you watching. But that being said, we are in the lobby for Neon Violet Square. We've got my favorite Protoss and like one of my favorite Terrans. This could only be better if it was herO versus Gumio for like the 5th rematch in a month, but INnoVation in here is pretty good. What do you make of this? What are your predictions here, Zombie Grub?
Well, it's herO, so either he absolutely dominates and INnoVation tilts, or he tries to dominate and like messes up his War Prism micro once, and INnoVation just makes him look silly. I really feel like there's nothing in between.
I'm actually kind of with you on that because we've seen INnoVation tilt to Protoss, and it's not limited to one specific player. But then sometimes he is infallible. It's going to be interesting. I think Game 1 will tell us a lot about the entire series, but it is only a best of 3. However, don't worry, StarCraft fans, because the semifinals are both best of 5s, and the finals is a best of 7. So if all goes according to plan, we got a best of 3, 2 best of 5s, and a best of 7 for 4 really fantastic matches this morning.
I think Euro needs a moment, but I woke up a little bit sick today, which I was very disappointed in.
I'm actually quite jealous.
I woke up sick.
That you woke up, implying you went to sleep.
Oh yeah, I definitely did.
Foxy Minx you.
Well, I went to sleep yesterday because I didn't sleep very well before the People Images cast because I was playing Frostpunk. So I got like 6 hours of sleep, which isn't bad, but it's not great. And then I didn't sleep or take a nap at all yesterday, and I went boxing and I went walking and like I did stuff. And so at like 7 p.m. I was just like, oh my God, I'm so tired. So I went to bed at like 8 p.m. legitimately. And I woke up and I just was like that, like it's worse when you're lying down too, because I guess like all the mucus just like stays contained, doesn't like drain out of your system. So I woke up and I felt awful.
Oh, Ace W, guys. Ugh.
I know, right?
Ace
but
W
then I
chat.
stood up and like I had to find tissues and it felt a little bit better. But yeah, I'm definitely a little sick, and I think it's bullshit, right? Because you come back after an event and you get sick like 2-3 days later, and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like I was traveling. But this is like a week and a half later, okay? Like, why is it so delayed?
I'm glad it's now, though, and not a week from now. You'd be flying up from BTSL. Which, by the way, while we're just waiting for the players, guys, we're not actually holding anything up here. We're just filling the downtime. Hello, front page of Twitch. Good morning to everybody tuning in, you StarCraft fans, or soon-to-be, hopefully, StarCraft fans. I was going to mention the BTSL's done quite well. We mentioned I feel it was only 2 or 3 days ago, we had sold 30 out of 64 tickets. We're up now to 43 out of 64 tickets sold, which is pretty awesome. We also have a decent-sized bracket. What's interesting, though, is the competition doesn't seem that fierce. There's a lot of local players and some folks who are probably Grandmaster on the ladder, but on the lower side, so we haven't really heard of them. Aside from Jon Snow flying out, I don't really recognize much names on the bracket. But we did have one very interesting competitor pass out yesterday, and that was Kawhi Rice. I was like, oh, that's a name I have not heard in quite some time, but he was not a bad player.
No, he wasn't. He played Brood War for a long time, so kind of was along the first generation of people that even like play StarCraft 2. I wonder, I mean, does he live? I didn't think he lived in Canada or near Vancouver.
I got no clue about that, but all I know is it makes me a little more excited for the brackets, of course. But I'm just really most excited to see the success or fail of the free-for-all round of 8 to determine how placements will go. Because that's either going to set the sickest precedent going forward, or just be a horrible mistake that we will pretend never happened.
See, I feel like one very good player might just even hope that they lose first, because there's still a pretty good chance that they get paired up against someone who's like not even like someone they're scared of with how free-for-alls work. You really there's no predicting unless you team up like 7-1 and like try and like no, you have to have some severe like pre-planning for that. No, I don't think you can actually pre-plan FFA.
Well, folks, after some considerable downtime bot, we are finally getting into game. It's going to be Neon Violet Square for this first game. We'll see you soon. All right, folks, you're watching the Olimoleague, and it's a best of 3 with perhaps no good to start things off. In the top left, we have the red Terran player, INnoVation. But he might not be entirely in the top left.
Yeah. In the bottom right, is the blue Protoss. He is herO.
I've actually really enjoyed watching a lot of Terran players take this first proxy with a Reaper, but not actually commit to it. I think it's really cool when you get the odd game Cyclones and Liberators and everything on this side of the field. But I've been kind of enjoying the flavor of an opener this brings. But it's hardly a trendsetter yet.
It can be, you can certainly get a lead from it, but a lot of the time, because Protoss do scouts just naturally pretty quickly in the matchup, it's something that they really have to underestimate the follow-up. Like, they don't quite know what it is. They don't realize it was like a follow-up proxy starport. Because the barracks alone, once it's scouted, is easy enough to deal with, even if you do have to change up your build. But in this game, like, funnily enough, herO isn't bothering to scout. He is facing INnoVation after all, and INnoVation can cheese, obviously. It's pretty rare. It's maybe like not even 15% of his games, right? So he's taking a chance, and this will lead to, oh, a Marine first. He's going to go into Cyclones, perhaps?
Also,
he's getting enough gas to put a reactor on.
Shame on Crank for not using Game Heart, but that's besides the point.
Oh my god, you're right.
I think, I'm glad you brought that up, by the way, because if I think of a build like this, I'm definitely thinking Gumiho. Or anybody else, really. This isn't like an INnoVation thing to typically do, but not to say that he can't do it. Either way, the probe's going to come over here. The Marine will keep it from killing the SCV. That's kind of nice to see. And now hero's got to decide, like, is it worth trying to finish this up? Try to get a gateway in the main, a shield battery down? Like, what do you do?
Yeah. I guess that scout also would have seen the Reaper as it popped, so he at least have some mental, you know, advanced notice. But I feel like a second gateway isn't a bad idea. He will need the robo truly, but unfortunately he didn't have enough gas to slap it down immediately, so it's better to have some type of protection.
I definitely think the shield batteries are going to be the most valuable thing to have here, because there's just no chance to take a fight against a Cyclone without them.
Yeah, that's true. With 3 shield batteries, I guess just double pump stalkers might be enough. The Immortal usually is just the slap down, but it obviously takes some time to get to, and a bit of a risk. So, okay, all right. And he didn't react to the Cyclones either because he went to a starport, so it's not even as much as powerful as I thought, but with a medevac, it means it can move around, which makes it a different type of powerful, I suppose. Oh,
that Cyclone's deadly low. He's got to really fall back with that. I love what herO did, though, early on. Poking up forward, getting the Marines low. I mean, sure, that medevac's going to pop, but it's only going to have, like, what, 3 Marines now? He's killed 4. This is the difference of a nearly full medevac drop to being half empty. Sailing at half mast.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was really depending on not being scouted almost entirely, because the Cyclone makes them feel like it's a Cyclone rush. They don't even scout that it's a follow-up into a tank.
Surprise.
And then it's really just the biggest surprise ever. But he's been able to get consistent scouting. He knows that there's a follow-up tank, which I don't know how he's going to approach dealing with this. He still can't do very much different. And he didn't go for a robo, so it's not like he can, I don't know, get like a warp prism and micro behind it. So just trying to take a front attack, I guess, get rid of the fodder.
He accidentally zoned himself out there really badly, by the way. That's why he took a tank shot. Could have avoided it otherwise. Shield battery still standing though. It's just that tank is so good versus armored units. 70 a shot, guys.
Yeah, stalkers are kind of the they're usually the worst thing to have against tanks. Like stalker openers are what tanks think they can do well against, even if they have blink. They're still pretty good, and they're getting a ton of great shots off. This makes it work.
Credit to hero's micro though. He's only lost one stalker so far, but I don't know that this is looking good for him yet. The shield batteries are pretty much drained. The tanks are starting to really leapfrog in closer.
How does he not get that bunker? He should get the next time. Okay, I was gonna say.
Oh, Liberator's out now too. This is where it gets really messy. He wants to kill the tank. Not gonna be able to do so. He's running out of juice on all of his units. I think INnoVation's got it at this point.
Yeah. I mean, he can replace the stalkers decently well now that he has 4 gateways, even if he's still like, he never need to truly mine on 2 bases, and that's probably a good thing. Couldn't afford it, but yeah, it doesn't matter. GG.
Ooh. This was getting interesting because I did say the first game would tell us a lot about how this might go. And herO, I think, in a lot of micro battles, you give him a warp prism, for example. I don't think INnoVation could pull off what he just did. But this was something that it did go unscouted for a considerable amount of time. Maybe if he had more time to think about it, it wouldn't have gone quite the way it did. But at the same time, kudos to INnoVation, because that build, we kind of jokingly call it like the kitchen sink build, right? You throw everything in the kitchen sink at your opponent. And I feel like I'd have to go back and look. There's like a 50% success rate on the stream for when we cast games with it. I'm never confident seeing it. So it's really cool seeing INnoVation make that look super, super convincing.
Yeah. Well, there's like so many weird things that happen in that game because it was scouted and because it's neon. You know, first of all, like if the barracks is scouted, they think it might be a Reaper, so maybe they're on one base for longer. And then if they think it's double cyclone, maybe they do go for the robo, and is that better against the 1/1/1? Because that's typically what we see. And then the fact that it got so close to the choke on neon, because there's that choke leading into the natural. I feel like whenever we see it on the other maps, like Catalyst or something, there's not quite the same choke that they can abuse right outside the natural of the Protoss. So it feels like the perfect storm of events there.
But it'll be super extra interesting to see what happens as we hop into Eastwatch now for game number 2. Gonna bim bam boom. These best of 3s feel all but just too short and too sweet, but I'm really looking forward to the semifinals. The winner of this, if you guys want to see this, by the way, just type ! brackets in the chat, take a peek. But the winner of this plays the winner of Impact and Ryung. The bottom side, though, has the spicy bracket. Gumi is playing against Ragnarok, and Zest is playing against Keen. Keen has actually got some weird wins versus Zest, so it's not even a guarantee Zest wins, but I'm fingers crossed for Zest versus Gumiho. I'd love to see that.
Yes, I agree. And then I would really like to see either one of these guys, either one goes on, I'm very happy, versus Impact. Yes,
Impact has just been absolutely the all-star of the Korean scene, especially for us here on the channel. Everything we've cast him in, he's been the golden child. I've really, really liked seeing Impact play.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll hop to that afterwards, because we got to finish this series first. We're going into Eastwatch. Someone in chat says, I see that PS4 Pro. Yo, how is this gonna make you feel? I've played Disgaea on that and nothing else. I bought this PS4 Pro in anticipation of Kingdom Hearts 3 coming out. So it's been sitting there collecting dust after I beat Disgaea. That's it. I'm actually super stoked. I've also got Nier Automata, or however that game's pronounced, on standby for whenever I finally get my wisdom teeth out, which should have been done a year ago, but that's a cool story for another time. We're hopping into game number 2. Spawning here to the bottom left side of the map, getting proxied. Once again, we have the red Protoss, Root Gaming's herO.
In the top right, as the blue Terran doing the proxying, it is INnoVation.
It was kind of interesting. If you guys missed out yesterday during the People Images King of the Hill, we got herO on for some interview. Not a lot, but a small brief chat with him. And one of the things we had asked him was kind of about the Team House environment that used to be in Korea versus what he has now. And I was really surprised by his answer, to be honest. Because he had mentioned to the LDR for you guys that he had wanted to for so long. That he wanted the freedom of not being part of the hardcore team regiment. But now that he has that freedom, he misses the house. And I just can't help but think, like, herO is so freaking good right now. How much better would he be if he was actually in that environment?
I mean, it's like, you know, wanting to leave in like an okay family situation just because you want your freedom, and then being like, you know, like, oh, I miss my mom making food for me and buying my groceries.
I miss not paying rent. It was great.
Well, that too. I get, like, that's exactly what he like wants. He said he wanted to be taken care of. I really thought all of those interviews were very, very insightful. But anyways.
Yeah, big shouts to Crank. He helped bring out the personality of those guys a lot. He's really good at that.
Yeah, sure.
No
okay.
way.
No, that's amazing though, because yeah, exactly.
Oh
TV can't be touched. Eventually, RNG should send it off to a side that it can be, but by that time, Proctron might not be enough.
He's so busy dancing with the Reaper. I don't know if he'll be thinking about this.
Oh, it's so hard to. Oh, he can't actually like attack it. It's so hard to attack it when it's right there.
Oh my goodness! What is this positioning?
That extra second. That extra second was so close to getting it done.
Literally unplayable. You know what's sick though? This pulled even more probes than the Reaper, causing it to run around. This bunker might not have finished, but it still did a lot of effective damage.
And it didn't even get to the Reaper. That could actually still live. It's gonna live. He doesn't want. Oh my God. It's starting to regain health.
Oh, he went in like 1 second too soon.
Yeah, exactly. Too fancy.
Still though, INnoVation. That was that's not the most nerfed Terran thing I've seen in a while, I gotta say.
Yeah, but it's so weird though, because every time you play Terran, the SUV's on like the opposite side, like easily targetable, like, you know, immediately targetable.
It's always different for you when you're playing versus watching the pros. I thought there's a Fortnite meme I saw the other day where it's like Fortnite or people playing against Fortnite streamers, and it's like like a Neanderthal scroll. Yeah, and then like when I play on Fortnite, it's like just regular humans.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never seems to quite go like that, does it? I'm like, yeah, Diamond League players should be worse, but somehow they play like legends when I hop on the game.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, that all said and done, INnoVation did not continue to proxy the other buildings. He's going into Banshees and probably more of a defensive Cyclone, but you know, with the Reaper scouting, seeing that hero's not going to be countering, he could just send that across the map, even a large one like this.
It's really cool that it's a Banshee, actually. I've really enjoyed watching the way this has been causing Protoss trouble. As I can never pull this off in my own games, I get to live vicariously through the pros.
Yeah. Well, the Robo is certainly the safest follow-up for herO. I know he didn't get one last game, and that was a bit of an oddity. He was maybe overconfident in his gateways, but the Robo is usually the safest opener follow-up. It will also defend you against Banshees, right? But the trick is, even if you get 2 observers, if you're not paying attention for 5 seconds, that could be 5 probe kills. Especially if they're able to keep more than 1 Banshee alive at a time, right?
And INnoVation also tends to play the double down with the Banshees, where, okay, the first one gets shut out, so he'll wait and stack up the next 2 instead of stopping at all. We'll see if he goes for that 3rd one or not. But this first Banshee should get caught.
Okay. He sees that the Stalkers are in place, and the Observer's not quite yet.
Look at his vision. He doesn't know where the Banshee went. That cloak was so slick.
That's really nice. The second Observer is almost out, though.
Even then, this is still pretty nice. And some of these probes are one-shot range, as we just witnessed, so helps a bit. Banshee can always run away and try not committing to this. Should this escape?
That is a spot that they cannot reach back there, so...
Yeah, so this is high ground, too, which I learned recently. I watched a Liberator get a lot of abuse. I think it was during the EU King of the Hill.
It's Eastwatch is pretty good. It's not like no map nowadays seems to be like super abusable. Like it's worth talking about the amount of dead space that's around bases, but Eastwatch is certainly one of them.
So what happened to that second Banshee is the question. There she is over here. I was wondering if he was just gonna stack them up and go for the one shots, but it looks like splitting them up is his choice. The Raven follow-up's kind of interesting too. A lot of Terran. This is mostly me talking about top versus parting, of course, in the best of 69. Had a lack of detection problem, not seeing observers, having their army scouted constantly. The Raven should prevent that from happening. In fact, yeah, he just picks off the observer on the other side of the map while the Banshee barely gets out of there. 10 health.
That's really nice. Now, the observer already saw the build, so while it's still very nice for INnoVation, as Stim finishes, Medivacs finish, it's all as a third CC. It saw that, you know, it wasn't going to be a big follow-up push immediately, but herO is still not, you know, 100% proof, Banshee proof here, and they could even join up with a main push. I don't know, he's only got one tank, so I don't think like a push to the front is really the most ideal thing, but they could, and that's always scary.
Ooh, Banshee once again skirting out of there. Big thank you to Len at 1707, by the way, for that Prime sub. Feels good to do shoutouts again. How many kills? 13 total is really not bad considering the Banshees are still alive. If these had died and had no further potential, I'd say that's alright. But this is pretty good because when herO eventually moves out, or even if he doesn't, the fact is it's keeping 3 stalkers in each of the mineral lines. That's a huge amount of supply missing from any kind of attack. INnoVation has really won these trades.
How have I never noticed the things on top of the fan or the Banshee? The Ewoks.
What, the moopies over here?
Yeah.
I feel like I point them out about half the time, but yeah, bongo, bongo, bongo.
On other maps, though.
There's other ones here, too.
Right, yeah, you always point out these ones. Exactly, the ones that don't move. The puppets.
I think they move, it's just you can't see them moving when they're not in the vision of somebody.
Well, in vision, and no one ever goes over there.
Yeah, why would you? Who takes a gold base? There's no Zerg here.
Feedback just took care of that Banshee.
Oh, did it reach? I didn't think that would reach. I didn't even bother looking because I thought it was so far safely nestled away, but okay. Feedback's a pretty nice skill. It's also good to see storms. This will be very nice for this.
Yeah. This is going to be a bit of a direct push, and the Banshee either could join up for some serious extra damage, or it could try and head to the main, hoping that herO pulls everything forward.
Oh, he goes like a little too soon. herO was about to pull everything forward. Cloak, cloak, cloak.
Yeah, not used.
Supreme Leader Cloak.
Oh, it was a pick attention.
No way.
He actually was pulling everything forward.
Okay, this was like really awkward on both sides. Looks like the anti-armor went off, but the Raven died. Storm takes care of the rest of the army. The Banshee grabs like 5 kills, 6 kills with this.
Oh my gosh! If he had A moved, this would have been so different. This is actually really worth it.
Wow, 15 kills on this Banshee, by the way. Big shouts to might get the Templar. Oh, it would have been so worth dying for that Templar, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so this kind of sucks though. INnoVation did lose a lot. The Raven was a cool thing to have more than an important thing to have. The anti-armor value it creates is it's good, but it's not an essential thing. Having his production set back up, but also bunkers coming down, he's ready to take a defensive fight, or he wants to be ready to take a defensive fight.
He only just recently finished his extra barracks. Like, he was on a pretty low production point, and he did maybe miss macro the tiniest little bit because he was focused on the harassment and the push. But he might just have enough, especially with the Sin City helping him out here. And the double drop in the main is something that herO really needs to consider. What is he going to do against so many Widow Mines? It's going to work out. Okay.
You know, a lot of the Zealots are really low, though. If they charge over, they're going to have a bad time. SCVs get pulled in the natural base. INnoVation's got a hell of a lot of Marauders, but the Immortals are still firing in the backside. This is close and tough to call. If he breaks the Archons, I think he'll hold, but if he doesn't, this can be really problematic.
That's
big warping.
The micro with the War Prism that's still alive.
Yes, that's herO for you. Grabs another Immortal. Keeps the other one. Unfortunately, loses one on the backside of this too, but at the same time, looks like this drop got cleaned up. Now it's all on INnoVation, and it's not looking good. If he survives, though, he's got enough workers to recover from this.
I mean, it is all Marauders, but with the one Immortal having its shield pop, I guess it really can't help. Like, yeah, it gave him micro pass. Okay. So I think, that Storm.
There's no Medivacs.
Well,
I mean, INnoVation's coming up on 2-2. I really think he'll hold this, and by the time he's able to counter push with weapon upgrades, herO's got nothing. Like, the upgrade difference in this game is going to be massive. Right now, it's looking really dire because his units aren't really collected. But once he gets these collected, once the Medivacs are back out like we see now, we're going to see INnoVation push back hard, especially in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah. 4 Medivacs is super helpful here, and his Widowmine production has been consistent. That's been so important. Even if they don't get the greatest shots, they've still been pretty good.
That's kind of a nice juke with the War Prism to dodge that shot, but even then, the second one still hit. Templar, it does no damage! It does no damage!
Look at that mule! Look at it!
It doesn't give a fuck.
That shot!
That mule!
but I think it's going to be enough. I think INnoVation's got this.
That mule might as well be a friggin' Ultralisk, by the way. Like, I just...
Right?
He's got... This is what's beautiful about this. INnoVation on 3 CCs. Did herO ever know about the third? No, he didn't.
He never scouted it. He did see SCVs being pulled from it, though, and I feel like he should... Just by the amount of production that was happening while he killed so many SCVs, he should know, like, it was a legitimate third. He goes right there. That Templar will be scary in, like, a second. Storm dropping on what could be oversaturated mules, for instance. Like, that could be pretty darn good.
Man, this is gonna be brutal.
Oh, what am I?
It's like an MVP Widow Mine. Holy shit. But this is now going to be 2-2 versus 0-0. You rarely ever see this opportunity. Protoss got Chrono Boost, they got double forges, right? Like, I don't know the last time I've seen a disparity that's going to be this bad, but actually we saw it yesterday. I take it back. But still, it's tough fighting against this, and these medevacs are going to have no problem. I love what herO tried to do, by the way. This was clever, knowing that he'd be weak on the defense, but I don't know if he'll get away with this.
Yeah, it's a hidden one. Barely, but it is.
I was getting excited for the choo-choo, but then I saw this transferring and went boo, boo.
The INnoVation has no reason to pull the SCVs unless he thought he could end it by pulling the SCVs, which might be an idea, but generally don't want to pull SCVs against high Templars. Like, very, very specifically, you didn't want to do that back when SCV pulls were popular. This could reveal a DTs. Not that it would be too surprising to see him go for DTs. I don't know if they really did, though. I don't, like, INnoVation doesn't even notice it.
Look how good these upgrades are, by the way. He's just got DTs on him, shrugging it off.
Yeah, almost.
It took so long to clean up that drop and so expensive for herO. I mean, look at the army supplies. 24 to 73. Wait, can these DTs not two-shot workers? Oh, or one-shot workers, excuse me? Yeah, the upgrades.
Yeah, apparently
not.
not.
2 health. Oh my god. These upgrades are so sick. I didn't even know it was possible for DTs to not one-shot a worker. But that must be Terran exclusive because of the 45 health. That could never happen for drones. Oh my god, Terran OP.
Almost for sure, yeah.
Can we nerf Terran, please?
I
David
mean,
Kim?
come on now. When is this ever gonna happen? Like, even like, maybe like 1-1 ahead of the Protoss because they do an attack that, you know, sacrifices the forges, but I don't think I've ever seen like 2-2 ahead. I don't know what game you're referring to last game. I don't know your, yesterday rather.
Wasn't there? I feel like maybe I'm having crazy pills. I remember there was a game that I thought where it was like 2-2 to 0-0 with a late 1-1.
For the Terran versus Protoss?
Yeah. It was Gumiho, I think, wasn't it?
I really don't remember that. I don't remember making note of it, so we might have already been winning or something like that.
I've casted so much StarCraft this week, dude, my brain's a mess, so I could be wrong on this one. I'll take responsibility, but dives in with the Marauders. Oh my god, did those Immortals even have a barrier? Holy shit!
The Widowmines aren't even necessary. herO is desperately trying to counter, but this is game. herO does not. It's not really a bopping though, so I'm at least glad to see that because sometimes herO gets bopped out of these round of 8s, and I'm like, well, he doesn't usually. Guys, trust me. These are interesting games, but he got cheesed out. INnoVation just cheesed him faster than he could cheese him. All in him.
GG.
Whatever he was gonna do. GG.
Good game. Oh, that's good to see though. We didn't get to see INnoVation yesterday. He had to cancel on the event last moment type thing, which was a bit sad. But now we get a good taste of him today, and not in best of 1s, but in best of 3s and 5s. Also, whoa, Keen took a 2-0 over Zest in the bottom side of the bracket.
Maybe he cheesed as well.
Maybe. I mean, it's not super crazy, but that's all the Protoss eliminated. There are no Protoss going forward.
Weakest race confirmed.
I mean, the thing is, like, Zest seems to... I don't know what it is. It's like Keen can't beat most other Protoss, but he can beat Zest on a semi-regular basis. Like...
Also, Keen's been doing... Like, you know how we say he's a really dependable, consistent Terran? He's got like +1 on him lately. So it seems like he's getting consistently better. Maybe he'll actually do very well this tournament.
Well, fingers crossed, it'd be cool to see. Optional player, thank you for the 36 months, says, I'm an old man. I'm an old man! I cannot believe it's not butter. I can't believe clouds are in the sky when the darkness of the computer chair only shadows my metric stick of a teacup. By a teacup? That's a real... that sounded poetic almost. Happy day. A happy day back at you, man. And of course, if you guys don't know, it's Roddy's birthday today, so you might want to go wish him a happy birthday while you're wishing happy days around. We're going to go to a commercial break, though. When we get back, we'll find out which semifinals match we'll be going into. We will be casting both of them, though. So remember, it's 2 best of 5s and a best of 7s still in the cast today. And hopefully, by the way, side note, subscribers already know about this news that we've been like really sitting on and waiting to announce. But I believe by end of day today, and I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I've been told by end of day today we should finally be able to unleash that really cool information. So notice to the grounds, make sure you're following our Twitters, I guess, because it's a pretty big thing coming out later today, I think. Anyways, we'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for watching.